before you to officially launch my campaign for a second term as President of the United States.
Hey, America First lovers. Today, we are diving deep into a crucial issue that could determine the fate of Trump's 2024 campaign. We are talking about Susie Wiles and Chris Lacivita, the current campaign managers, who are making a colossal mistake by dismissing the idea that the 2020 election was stolen. Their stance not only alienates the very base that propelled Trump to victory in 2016, but also undermines the push for election integrity, which is essential for ensuring a fair election in 2024. And let's not forget, Nick Fuentes is rallying the Groypers for Groyper War II, aiming to remove these two from their posts before they lead Trump's campaign into disaster. So, let's dive into the three biggest reasons why Wiles and Lacivita are wrong, and why Nick Fuentes is absolutely right in his crusade. Let's start with the elephant in the room, the evidence of voter fraud in the 2020 election. For many conservatives, the irregularities reported in swing states, such as unexplained spikes in mail-in ballots, discrepancies in vote counts, and suspicious software glitches, raise serious concerns about the integrity of the election. Susie Wiles and Chris Lacivita's refusal to acknowledge this evidence isn't just a tactical error, it's a slap in the face to the millions of voters who feel their voices were silenced. The fact is, there were countless affidavits, sworn testimonies, and video footage suggesting potential voter fraud. By dismissing these claims, Wiles and Lacivita are essentially telling Trump's base that their concerns don't matter. This alienates the very grassroots activists who are the backbone of any successful campaign, and it risks demotivating a large portion of the electorate that feels betrayed by the system. The problem here isn't just about losing votes, it's about losing trust. When campaign leaders refuse to stand up for what many believe to be the truth, they create a rift between the candidate and his most loyal supporters. This isn't just bad strategy, it's campaign suicide. Trump's base needs to know that their concerns are being taken seriously, and ignoring the evidence of voter fraud is the quickest way to ensure they stay home in 2024. Nick Fuentes, on the other hand, understands the importance of addressing these concerns head-on. His Groyper War II is a rallying cry to ensure that Trump's campaign remains aligned with the people who believe the 2020 election was stolen. Fuentes knows that dismissing these concerns weakens the campaign's connection to its base and leaves Trump vulnerable to losing his most ardent supporters. Fuentes' push to remove Wiles and Lacivita isn't just about changing campaign leadership, it's about restoring faith in the process and ensuring that Trump's campaign is fighting for the truth. Without acknowledging the evidence of voter fraud, Trump's campaign risks being seen as out of touch with its own base, which could be catastrophic in a tight election. In conclusion, ignoring the evidence of voter fraud is a critical mistake that Wiles and Lacivita are making. Their stance alienates the base, weakens the campaign, and risks losing the very people Trump needs to win in 2024. Nick Fuentes' Groyper War II is about correcting this course before it's too late, and he's absolutely right to demand that Wiles and Lacivita be removed. Moving on to the second reason Wiles and Lacivita are wrong, their stance directly undermines the push for stronger election integrity measures. Since the 2020 election, there has been a significant movement within the conservative base to ensure that future elections are secure, transparent, and free from fraud. By dismissing the idea that the 2020 election was stolen, Wiles and Lacivita are downplaying the importance of these efforts, which could have dire consequences for the 2024 election. Election integrity is not just a buzzword, it's a fundamental issue for Trump's base. Voter ID requirements, cleaning up voter rolls, and ensuring transparency in the vote counting process are all essential steps in restoring trust in the electoral system. When Wiles and Lacivita choose to ignore the concerns about the 2020 election, they are effectively telling voters that election integrity is not a priority, which could demoralize those who are fighting to secure future elections. Moreover, By failing to acknowledge the possibility of election fraud in 2020, Wiles and Lacivita are inadvertently giving the Democrats a pass on what many believe were serious breaches of election law. This weakens the GOP's position on election integrity and emboldens those who wish to keep the system as vulnerable as it was in 2020. For a campaign that should be centered on taking back the White House, this approach is not just misguided, it's self-destructive. Nick Fuentes sees this issue clearly. He understands that securing the 2024 election starts with acknowledging what went wrong in 2020. His Groper War 2 isn't just about removing ineffective campaign managers. It's about ensuring that the Trump campaign is fully committed to the cause of election integrity, which is essential for restoring confidence among conservative voters. Fuentes' strategy is simple but powerful. Align the campaign with the activists who are fighting for election integrity every day. By doing so, he's ensuring that Trump's 2024 bid is not just another campaign, but a movement dedicated to protecting American democracy from those who would undermine it. This is why Fuentes' call to action is so critical. Without a strong stance on election integrity, the entire foundation of Trump's campaign is at risk. In conclusion, Wiles and Lacivita's dismissal of the need for election integrity measures is a major mistake that could have long-lasting consequences for the Trump campaign. Their stance undermines the efforts of countless activists and risks losing the trust of the conservative base. Nick Fuentes is right to call for their removal, and his Groper War 2 is the wake-up call the campaign needs to get back on track.
So far outside of the,
Finally, let's address the most critical issue: how Wiles and Lacivita's stance on the 2020 election reflects a deeper disconnect from Trump's base. The belief that the 2020 election was stolen isn't just a fringe theory, it's a widely held view among a significant portion of Trump's supporters. By refusing to acknowledge this, Wiles and Lacivita are effectively distancing themselves from the very people who are supposed to carry Trump to victory in 2024. The conservative base is not just another voting bloc, they are the heart and soul of the Trump movement. They are the ones who show up to rallies, donate to the campaign, and spread the message far and wide. When Wiles and Lacivita dismiss the concerns of these voters, they are doing more than just taking a different strategic path, they are alienating the people who have been most loyal to Trump from the beginning. This disconnect is more than just a political miscalculation. It's a betrayal of the trust that has been built over years of fighting together for conservative values. Trump's base has stood by him through thick and thin, and they expect the same loyalty in return. When they see key figures in the campaign dismissing their concerns about election fraud, it raises serious questions about who the campaign is really for. Nick Fuentes understands this dynamic better than anyone. His Groper War 2 is not just about removing ineffective campaign managers, it's about reconnecting the campaign with the base that made Trump a political force in the first place. Fuentes knows that without the enthusiastic support of this base, Trump's chances in 2024 are severely diminished. His push to have Wiles and Lacivita removed is a push to restore the campaign's focus on the issues that matter most to Trump's supporters. Fuentes' message is clear: the campaign must be led by people who understand and respect the concerns of the base. Wiles and Lacivita's dismissal of the stolen election narrative is not just a difference of opinion, it's a sign that they are out of touch with the very people who will determine the outcome of the 2024 election. If Trump's campaign is going to succeed, it needs to reconnect with its base and reaffirm its commitment to the principles that brought Trump to power in the first place. In conclusion, the biggest mistake Wiles and Lacivita are making is forgetting who the campaign is really about. It's not about appeasing the media or playing it safe. It's about representing the millions of Americans who believe that their voices were silenced in 2020. Nick Fuentes' Groper War 2 is a necessary battle to ensure that the campaign remains true to its roots and continues to fight for the people who have always had Trump's back. If Trump is to win in 2024, it will be because his campaign reconnects with its base, acknowledges their concerns, and fights for them every step of the way.
Welcome the next president of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, as I will continue posting only the best celebrity and K-pop content. This was Watch Wave, and until next time, have a good one.
I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you.